Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ozark Outpost in Dixon, Missouri. This is Japan's turn for July 1936. And we're going to get into this and see what Tojo and Yamamoto have going on here. You can see here they have a little bit of a navy to start the game with. Not a great navy, but given the starting positions of the other countries, they've got one of the larger navies on the board. Don't have a lot of ground forces yet. And what ground forces they do have are kind of spread out because of their conquest of Manchuria in the years leading up to this. Now, Tojo is the Prime Minister of Japan. He's also an Army General. As such, he tends to look at everything through the lens of an Army officer, focusing on territorial conquest. His idea, he's kind of a bloodthirsty little guy, I think, is to wipe China out. Just take over the whole country and remove the Chinese from the face of the earth. Admiral Yamamoto, on the other hand, takes a little bit more of a practical view of things. He knows, being an island nation, they can't possibly hope to accomplish anything if they don't venture out from their home islands. To do that requires a navy. You don't get a navy if you don't have the income to buy it, naturally. So, he and Tojo have argued back and forth, both insisting that their plan is the right plan. Emperor Hirohito has stepped in and, in one of the rare cases, has moderated the debate and given each a little bit of what they want. So, with regard to China, this is what the Japanese are going to try. Now, I didn't discuss general strategy with Germany and the Soviets because I don't think it's necessary. Everybody knows what those two countries have to do to win this game. They don't have a lot of options on how they're going to proceed. The Japanese do have a couple of different ways they can go, though. So what they're going to try for here is, instead of going after the whole of China, they're going to concentrate on the coastal areas here and try to grab these provinces that are worth some money, so they can use that increased income to build their navy to come down here and go after victory points, capturing the Philippines, and then down here to the Dutch East Indies and go after the money islands. These are not only will increase their income, they can get 4 victory points down here if they are able to grab these territories. Of course, everybody knows they have to do this before the United States gets involved and starts building their navy and comes over to make a fight of it. So, to that objective, the Japanese have spent all of their money this turn. They started with 16 yen in their bank. They've spent all of it. They spent 6 of their money to upgrade that medium factory right there in Kyushu. because, as I said earlier, in this version of the game, your tech advances are tied to the number of major factories that you control. To start out, they only have one right there in Tokyo. So, they're upgrading that factory to get another major. As part of the strategy to build their navy, to be able to go do things, they started with an aircraft carrier in position 3. They spent 5 yen to advance that one space. And they had a heavy cruiser in position 2. They spent another 5 to move that to the place units box. Over there you see they've got the one chip for their tech roll and the construction chip for the factory upgrade. So let's go on and do their tech roll. The Japanese are going to go for long-range aircraft. They need a 7 or better to get that. They rolled a 10. So Japan gets to have stage 1 of long-range aircraft. Now, as far as combat moves goes this turn, there aren't going to be any. They spent their money moving naval assets, as I've already explained in the upgrade, and they just really don't have the strength to go in here and try to start fighting the Chinese just yet. Plus, as an economic measure, they want to get their peacetime income bonus of 3 yen from oil trade with the United States. And every time they go make a combat move against a minor nation, China would include in that, they lose 1 from that peacetime income bonus. So they're going to maintain that for the time being here. So let's see, no combat moves, so we're going to go on to non-combat moves. There aren't going to be very many of those. We're going to move this cavalry here. You can see from drat. Oh boy, that caused a problem there. Well, I'll have to figure that out, what belonged where in a minute. Anyway, we're going to move this cavalry from eastern Manchuria to, I believe this is, well, I'm just not having any luck getting a hold of these things, to Rihi, to get on the border there of one of the coastal money provinces of China that I talked about just a minute ago. And I think that's going to be it for the time being. As I said, they don't have a lot to move, and they're not ready to make any big moves yet. So there's no point just to shuffle things around the board until it's time to get into the action. So now we'll go to place units. They have a heavy cruiser, which they are going to place, I think, they've got a heavy cruiser and a battle cruiser there already, and just one heavy cruiser out here. I think we're going to put it out here, east of the home islands. I'll show you there. I put it out there in that sea zone. And then the factory here at Kyushu gets upgraded to a major. So there's that. And it looks like that. Well, one other thing I want to show you real quick is there on the board. I have the task force marker in Tokyo. Right there is what is sitting in Tokyo. We have an infantry, a commander, a tactical bomber, and a fighter. Now, these are going to be important in just a little bit when the aircraft carrier on the production board is ready to go on the map. Because one of the optional rules that I'm playing is advanced aircraft carrier rules. And one of those states that in order to place a new carrier on the map, you have to also be able to place at least one aircraft on it at the same time. So one or two of these, when the carrier on the production board is ready to go, will be flying out to join that carrier. I decided I wanted to play that rule because I have seen some other guys, and I have done it myself playing Axis and Allies, just to use an empty aircraft carrier to absorb hits. I think that's kind of a cheesy play. As I said, even though I've done it myself in the past, because the role of the aircraft carrier is to haul aircraft into battle. It's an offensive weapon. It's not a punching bag to absorb punishment for the rest of the fleet. That's not what they were designed for. It's not what they were built for, and it's certainly not how they were used in actual battle. So I'm playing that to add some realism to the game. I don't think there's anything else to discuss for Japan this turn. So I'll pay the Japanese their money. Their income is 16, and they get the peacetime bonus of 3 from the United States. So they'll have 19 yen to spend on their next turn. That'll do for right now. So this is Ozark Outpost, over and out.